Hey everyone, welcome to this session by Intellipath. I hope you guys had a beautiful day today. And on that note, I welcome you all to this live session on fighting the COVID-19 with the help of machine learning and technology at the same time. Well, guys, before we begin with the session, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn that bell icon so that you never miss any updates from us. On that note, here's the agenda for today's session. We'll start out by checking out a quick introduction to machine learning, and after that, we'll understand the structure of artificial intelligence. After figuring out the basic structure of where machine learning is used in artificial intelligence, we can understand how machine learning can be put to help in this situation by understanding the process and understanding key applications, which will basically help us to fight COVID-19. And at the end of it, we're going to check out further learning concepts as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here's the first item on the agenda. It's Introduction to Machine Learning. Well, the first question one needs to ask whenever learning any concept is what that concept is. And of course, what machine learning is the first thing you need to ask in this particular scenario. So machine learning, very simply put, is just the application of artificial intelligence. So we say that because we actually go on to teach machines and help them learn on their own without being programmed every single time. Hence the name machine learning. So basically, there are multiple types of machine learning around right now, and there's multiple concepts revolving the world of machine learning as well. So when you think about concepts such as data mining, there are multiple algorithms which are used to achieve machine learning, classification, regression, multiple types of learning, supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and many more. In fact, deep learning, neural networks are all again in the entirety of the picture of artificial intelligence. So this is where we are right now. We're making use of machine learning basically for these purposes. But then if you have to talk about the future, well, machine learning has it big in the future. That's for sure. So machine learning is basically known to help us to achieve cognition quicker. And on that note, let us check out the artificial intelligence structure. You might be wondering why we're talking about artificial intelligence, right? Well, here is a very nice umbrella diagram for you guys denoting the substructures of artificial intelligence, being machine learning or be it deep learning as well. So in the entirety, on the whole, concepts such as machine learning and deep learning are used to achieve artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is basically to make a machine mimic any sort of human intelligence. It's as simple as that. Now to do that, we can use multiple techniques and pretty much to almost get there. We are not right there where machines are quicker than humans at every point of time, but we are almost there. So machine learning basically is done to get one step closer to artificial intelligence, and it is done by making use of multiple modeling techniques, by making use of a lot of algorithms, by teaching the machines to become self-sufficient in a way that they can, see the data themselves and understand about what's going on and to pretty much reflect on it later as well. And then coming to deep learning, well, deep learning is again another substructure of machine learning. In fact, basically where concepts such as neural networks are used, and in-depth machine learning concepts are used to basically resemble something called as a neural network, to resemble basically a human biological neural network, basically trying to replicate a human brain, to making the computer think more like human, if you may. And all of this is done again at the end to achieve artificial intelligence to solve the problems at hand. So basically, if we have to simplify the entirety of the machine learning procedure, let me give you a quick example. So let's have some data, let's have some rules, and we'll have answers associated with them. So the data is very simple. Consider x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 2 to be some data right now. And the rule you'll be applying on this particular data is multiply both these numbers by 2. So at the end of it, we are aware that as soon as we see the data and see the rule, we can know the answers. 1 multiplied with 2 gives us 2, 2 multiplied with another 2 gives us 4. Perfect. This is because your brain is trained to understand this. Now think about training a machine this way. So if you give it the data and the rule, all it's doing is giving you a calculation. But if you have to make it think, then you would only give it the data and the answer, and you would ask the machine how the answer can be obtained using the data. So if I just tell my machine, hey, look, I have x is equal to 1 and I have x is equal to 2. Now I have two answers correspondingly as well. Y is equal to 2 and y is equal to 4. So basically, how can you use the value of x to give me this particular value of y? And then the computer can work around and it can say, hey, so the rule which applies for both of your contexts is pretty much y is equal to x into 2, because we're just multiplying it by 2. So this procedure of the machine going and working just by seeing the data and the answer, it's actually a learning process. And this is exactly why it is called as machine learning, because it will be trying a lot of different things, a lot of different rules, learning methodologies, and many other goal-based scenarios where it understands what's going on around itself. So in this desperate times which calls for desperate measures, I am sure all hands need to be aboard at all points of time. So how can machine learning help fight the COVID-19 virus? Well guys, as you might already be aware of it, of the dire circumstances of the outbreak of the coronavirus. So there are over 350,000 infections and 15,000 deaths. The mortality went from 3% to a very big number, and it seems to be on the exponential rise every single time we look at the charts or the live updates. So what can we do as engineers? What can we do as people of the information technology era to help the fellow doctors, to help our fellow friends in the field of medicine to basically cure and help around in this world? Well, World Health Organization pretty much have told that, if this is not the most deadly virus yet, well, it is one of the most contagious diseases to make its way to mankind. And guys, pretty much it sure seems to be going that way. So I urge you guys all to take all the required safety measures to stay safe during this particular outbreak. And of course, to handle the outbreak of the decades, we have to salute to all of the heroes, guys. So we here at Intellipath stand together in unity to applaud the fellow doctors, to applaud all of the medical staffs and everyone in this field who are basically risking their lives to help bring an end to the pandemic. And if you're living in a metropolitan city or so, you might realize that all the non-essential shops and services are being shut, but then there are ATMs which are open, there are banks which are open, there are the medical stores which are open. Well, again, they have to be staffed, right? So again, we give our thanks and we look up to these guys who are pretty much giving their lives in this scenario. So guys, take a moment and pretty much think about all these guys who are helping out in a situation just like this. And of course, they are the superheroes of 2020 in my opinion. And of course, how can machine learning help these superheroes? Well, there are four very important scenarios I believe that machine learning can really help in. The first thing is to help trace the outbreak. And basically, there was a machine learning model put into place which actually detected the outbreak of the coronavirus. And I'm going to tell you that in just a second. So the first most important thing the machine learning algorithms can do for today's world is to trace an outbreak. So today it's corona, tomorrow it might be something else. So if tracing makes it very easy, then isolation and ensuring that the contamination is very less and the outbreak is pretty much non-existent, well, that is the exact need for the hour now. And of course, the second thing is to diagnose the patients. Well, even if you are positive and if you contracted the virus, and if it is possible for you to go into isolation completely without any human contact at all, this is the most important thing to help ensure that it doesn't spread. Well, this is the practical aspect of it. Coming to the machine learning aspect of it, all these data of the people in isolation can be calculated to ensure the other people are not close to that, or the other people are at a safe distance so that they don't get infected as well. And number three is again a very important concept. This is to basically disinfect the areas across the globe. So you might see certain places of certain cities where there are outbreaks and there are peaks and bones to the story. Well, if there is an area in a particular city or in a particular county where it needs to be disinfected, you cannot go on to hunt every single county of every single city of every single state of every single country again. Saying it is this complex, doing it should be another task as well. So if a machine learning model can be put into place, and in fact it is being put into place, so it will help all the people, it will help give a heads up, it will pretty much tell the government staff where they need to go and help in disinfecting as well. And coming to the fourth important important, probably the most important help that machine learning can give is to speed up the process of finding a cure. Of course, in the field of medicine, it is all trials, and then all the doctors doing the best that they can do. But then if it's all about sequencing, if it is about requiring computational power, then of course machine learning is here standing very firm to ensure that it can provide all its support to the world of medicine in helping it find a cure. So again, how can it help? We just checked out the entire GIST procedure, right? Of course, it can stay as a support system, ladies and gentlemen. So again, there are governments and health organizations across the globe right now scrambling to contain this spread of the coronavirus as we all know it, and of course they need all the help they can get. So they are working really hard, so we get to stay at home and ensure we do our part to help curb the contamination. And of course, they can get all the help that they're looking for, including from the domains of artificial intelligence, the domains of machine learning, and much more. So here is how the tracing procedure went at the end of 2019. So there's this company called as Blue Dot. Blue Dot is basically an artificial intelligence program which was actually put into place to track infectious diseases around the world. And what happened at the end of 2019 is that it flagged a cluster of unusual pneumonia cases, which was actually happening around a particular market in Wuhan, China. So this is where the coronavirus originated from, if you guys have read the news. So basically, this platform actually tracked, and it saw that there is a huge spike in the pneumonia cases happening. And just 9 days later, ladies and gentlemen, yes, just 9 days later, so the World Health Organization actually put out an official statement saying that they had discovered the coronavirus in the person who was basically hospitalized with pneumonia in Wuhan, China. So think about this. Even before we knew all of this could happen, all of the outbreak could happen, there was an artificial intelligence platform which uses deep learning, machine learning, natural language processing, and much more to basically tell us that there was something wrong. This is the kind of insight which the world of medicine could use any day, right? So basically, Blue Dot made use of natural language processing techniques and a lot of machine learning techniques to actually trace these anomalies and then help tell the world about it as well. So if you have to consider about the process of machine learning, it's pretty much a very simple process when you look at it, but then it all depends on your data. I'll tell you why. The first step is data collection. So data collection is basically we collecting the medical data that the algorithm will actually use to go on to learn. See, medical data will come from a variety of places, and we'll of course discuss all the data sources as well. The cleaner the data, the better your machine learning model, ladies and gentlemen. This is very important. And the second step is data preparation. See, because data is a raw entity, it's an unruly entity. If you have to convert this data into some information, it has to be prepared. So this is the step which is exactly doing that. And the third step is where actually the machine learning algorithm will see all this data, it will understand what's going on with the data and actually begin training on it. So after training, to check if the training has gone right, if the training has gone well or not, basically there is an evaluation which goes on. In the process of evaluation, we actually test the model by providing it another data set which is split from the main data set. It's called as the training set and the testing set. So the testing data set is actually given to the model to see how well it's learnt, and if there is room for any growth, of course it will be retrained on the same thing and evaluated again. So this part of where it retraining itself and it evaluating itself again, this part is called as the tuning, and this is the final step in the procedure of machine learning. Because again, when you think about it, fine tuning the model at the end of the day, and that last final bits that we add to anything, not just machine learning, is the one which will matter the most in many of the scenarios. And with machine learning, of course, this is just the same as well. To ensure that we have maximum detection performance, that there are 100% chances of accuracy in detection, we have to do all of this steps thoroughly, ladies and gentlemen. And quickly coming to the data sources from where our machine learning models, or where the world of IT can access data with respect to the COVID-19. Well, the first thing is the health organization. See, there is a plethora of data that is going around right now. If you can actually figure it out, the main data origination source is the health organizations. It might be the hospitals, emergency response units, or whatever it is. So these guys are generating the maximum amount of data regarding the virus. So all the data can be picked up from these folk. And then we can actually And then sure, we can actually just use this to do it, but then to increase more accuracy, let's diversify again. Think about commercial flights. So of course, multiple countries have shut down flying absolutely enough, but then there were data of the people who are now considered to be COVID-19 positive who flew across the world using planes as well, right? So now you have the data of their flight path, whom they met on what flight. So this again will rapidly establish a channel. This will rapidly establish a network where people can actually go on to track where all the contagion might have spread to as well. So commercial flights are another very, very important data source. And then if you have to talk about satellite data, well, of course, again, when you think about it, news and media add a lot of value when you think about anything, any outbreaks or any news basically. So these guys, alongside all the data which might come from the government, it might come from the military, or it might come from any other source, so combining news media and satellite data will give you a very, very powerful entity in terms of a data entry channel to again, help solve this problem. So putting machine learning to use, here is a very, very beautiful example which I picked off from the internet. So basically this is the chest x-ray data where on the left you can see all the cases of x-ray images where people have actually contracted the coronavirus, the COVID-19, and on the right you have images of the people who are tested negative. So the people on the right are at their normalcy condition where they're corona negative, and people on the left are COVID positive. So ladies and gentlemen, when you take a look at it, the best thing I read about this particular model, or the best thing I learned about this implementation, is that there is 100% prediction probability. So it's not like there is 3 in 4 cases or 9 out of 10 cases that it will predict if it's right or wrong. In this particular case, it is 10 on 10 times exactly right and accurate in telling if a person might have contracted pneumonia or not. So this was again done using TensorFlow. It was done using Keras by making use of machine learning models and deep learning models as well. So this will automatically predict whether the patient has actually contracted the virus or not. And think about it, ladies and gentlemen, with thousands of cases outbreaking every day, this will actually revolutionize the world of medicine in helping doctors actually analyze and ensure that the number of cases can be controlled across the world, or the number of detections can be made better and efficient as well. On that note, here is another beautiful way machine learning is actually helping. So we have something called as computer vision. Computer vision is basically a camera which is looking at the world, understanding what is going on and figuring something out of it. So basically, with the help of machine learning and computer vision, so we can actually ensure that whoever is moving around, their body temperature can actually be scanned wirelessly, the movements can be tracked, and if there is any abnormality that seems to occur there, the authorities can be notified of the same, or any other methods to contain that can be done as well. And of course, this is actually being implemented in a couple of parts of the world right now, because this is again a dire need for a situation just like this. If you have to trace a fever, or if you have to trace any other aspect which can be got, say, from a thermal camera or anything, computers today are fast enough, computers today are intelligent enough to track humans and basically point these thermal cameras at them and in fact get an accurate reading of their body temperature or any other parameter wirelessly as well. So machine learning with computer vision becomes a very, very powerful entity to help fight the COVID-19. So there are 4 key applications actually which are basically used to fight COVID-19 in today's world, and all of these are being done using machine learning, using deep learning and artificial intelligence. So guys, think of each application as a technical paper, because these are all part of the technical papers which were recently published after the outbreak of the coronavirus. So the first application it starts with the problem statement. So the problem statement is basically understanding how the structure of proteins behave and what their interaction is with all the chemical compounds around it, all the drugs around it, to see how this virus will behave to any changes. So why is this problem statement important? Because this, at the end of the day, when we predict how the proteins behave with chemicals, so we can understand how new antiviral drugs can be put in, new vaccines can be put in, or what drug that that we have currently right now. For example, anti-influenza meds are being given, anti-HIV meds are being given. So as of what I heard, again, by making use of the recommended drugs, the current drugs, there are many things floating on the internet that anti-HIV drugs are being given, anti-influenza meds are being given to fight the positive COVID-19 patients as well. So when you think about all of this, again, here is another amazing application. We can actually forecast the infection rates, and it is being done. So all the prognosis can be done where we are controlling when we're checking out the infection rates, we're checking out how it's spreading, what are the parameters that are being used to in fact track this and more. And why is this done? Again, this is done at the end of the day to help the officials, to help the hospitals or any medical body to actually plan all the resources that they have and to see how they can respond. If there is a quick rise in the infection rate, or if there is another micro outbreak in any part of the city as well. So this is again another very good technical paper where people are helping to forecast the infection rate. Now, coming to the third application to fight COVID-19, well, this again is not just for COVID-19, but it can be used for multiple other medical conditions as well. For example, the problem statement here is that it's analyzing basically the medical images. So think about CT scans, think about MRI scans, X-rays, or whatever it is. So if you can make a machine learning model understand what these scans mean, what the normalcy thresholds are, and what is an abnormality, then of course this at the end of the day will directly help the doctors to predict if there are any anomalies or if there is anything which should not be at the wrong place in the wrong time. And this, ladies and gentlemen, will save an exponential amount of time in detection and in basically diagnosing any viruses such as COVID-19 or anything else. Coming to the fourth important application, which will basically help fight COVID-19, is again coming back to data. So when you think about it, social media today is generating so much data around COVID-19 that basically there has been channels set up to data mine across all the social media, and this is directly to help drive future insights and virology analytics, where they're trying to figure out what can be done and understand the current situation and how they can actually estimate how it's spreading, what are the symptoms, how to gauge the symptoms quicker, and to understand the general public perception about this as well. So ladies and gentlemen, on that note, to come to the summary, well, machine learning, as I've been talking about for a while now, can be put into multiple uses, especially for COVID-19. And of course, there are multiple other ways it can be put into use as well. So if you, ladies and gentlemen, have any ideas about how we can help our fellow superheroes in the world of medicine, please do head to the comment section below and do let us know in the comment section, and it might actually help save a life or two. So coming to summarize this entirety of machine learning in COVID-19, the first most important place where it's used is in clinical research, because right now research and development, the field of R&D is where everyone is looking towards, for them to give us a cure, for them to give us a vaccine which will help fight against COVID-19. And of course, this is where machine learning can be put to use the most. And after this, it's diagnostic testing. So diagnostic testing is to basically understand how we can find the cure faster for the problem at hand. And oncology is basically the study where doctors learn and understand about cancers as well, abnormal growths, malignant growths. So basically oncology, machine learning in the field of oncology, it's already being put into place. In 2019, there was a beautiful discovery that machine learning and deep learning have actually given a 53% probability of early detection of breast cancer across the world. Ladies and gentlemen, 1 or 2% is almost considered to be legendary in the world of medicine, but 53% of insight even before a preliminary analysis is done in the field of medicine has been day and night. I've been mentioning all of this in all of my previous machine learning sessions as well, and of course that is something which deserves some recognition, and I hope something can be put into place for the COVID-19 as well. And then if you have to come to medical imaging, again, CT scans, MRIs, X-rays, analyzing all of this to understand and find out the onset of probably pneumonia in the case of COVID-19, as we already showed you the data where COVID-19 positives versus the negatives, and much more. And Since this is a very high health hazard, even for the doctors, even for the medical staff, if there is a way that can be put into place which will help the remote patient monitoring, where all the statistics, all the numbers can be seen by the doctors, by medical staff, with you being in isolation in case if you have contracted the virus, this again will ensure you are not helping it affect anyone else, and the doctors themselves are not being affected in any way by it, because they are isolated from you, but yet they're getting all the data that they need. So remote patient monitoring is something very, very important here as well. And then basically at the end of the day, it is all about integrated diagnostics, because see, you can have short-term goals of machine learning for healthcare. So you can have again mid-term goals. It can be in the field of radiology, it can be in the field of pathology, or whatever it is. It always starts with something like image recognition, accessing the information, understanding the data, and then to correlate this with what's right, what's wrong, how can it be helped further. And at the end of it, deep learning models or machine learning models are put into picture, which will give a complete 360-degree view of what's happening and how to diagnose a condition, which which can be exponentially faster than a doctor doing it as well. Of course, at this point of time, doctors are still faster at this, but then when you think about it, if this can be put into place where there are calculations required, where a computer can think probably 1,000 times or 1,000,000,000 times faster than a human, of course, why not? This should be a welcoming move in the field of medicine as well. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing. So, most of us are working from home right now, and the students are at home. So everyone we pretty much know are at home in isolation to ensure that we do not help this virus spread around. So basically, the most important thing you need to know at this point of time is that you have everything at your hands right now to upskill yourself from home. So let this period of isolation not be of stagnation, because at the end of the day, if you have an internet, if you have a decently good computer system, if you have a laptop, a mobile phone, a smartphone, it is more than enough to basically help you upskill yourself. And at the end of the day, again, this is something which I am very much personally interested in, and I'm working on the same as well. So what are you waiting for, guys? Let's get started. Let's help the world fight COVID-19 by making use of technology, because again, the world is looking towards technology. A good amount of the world is looking towards technology to help fight the COVID-19 virus. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, coming to the final thoughts regarding this session, well, machine learning is something that it cannot learn from nothing. It cannot learn from scratch. Let's clear that out, because what actually happens in machine learning is that it'll take something very less and it'll create lots and lots out of it. So this, at the end of the day, when you think about it, makes so much sense. So this is a very beautiful quote which is put out by Dr. Pedro Domenico. He's from the University of Washington, and I really love this quote. So as responsible citizens of the respective countries we are from, and as responsible citizens of Mother Earth, ladies and gentlemen, let us stay safe to ensure we can curb the outbreak of COVID-19. And on that note, you might have a question saying, hey Anirudh, so where can I learn more about this? Where can I understand machine learning or any IT related concepts so that I can put to use and help the world? Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, this is one quote by Benjamin Franklin that I champion in all of my live sessions. It says, an investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. And of course, this is one thing the world needs right now, is knowledge on how we can actually go on to solve the problem at hand. So we have multiple videos, we have thousands of videos on our YouTube channel, so make sure to check them out. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon so that you don't miss any future updates from us. And if you're much of a blog person or a reading person and you like to read blogs, ladies and gentlemen, we have a comprehensively put together end-to-end blog channel where our experts, our research analysts, our software architects are putting out blogs, and in fact they're taking in requests as well, even for the YouTube videos and of course for the blogging channel. So if you have any video requests that you need, this is the time to head to the comment section and do let us know regarding the same. And of course, we have a comprehensively put together Intellipaat's community, where again at the end of the day we get a lot of interactions from people across the world regardless of age, where we discuss everything regarding the world of IT, all the the concepts that you can think of, from the very basic questions all the way till the complex programming questions or anything. So ladies and gentlemen, head to the Intellipath community channel after this video to understand and get your queries resolved, or to see how you can help each other out in the field of information technology. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, let me quickly guide you through the Intellipath's machine learning online course. This is a very well reviewed course. We have almost 2,500 learners in this particular program, and this is your fast track to become a machine learning expert. So you will check out everything from Python. It can be algorithms, basically everything from statistics, probability, supervised learning, unsupervised learning, random forests, linear regression, logistic regression, all the way until you are self-sufficient enough to become machine learning engineers. So we have 32 hours of instructor-led machine learning training, where we have an instructor sitting in a virtual classroom who's basically spearheading the session and teaching you guys from there. So if you have any questions when the instructor is teaching you, you can actually pause the session, ask the instructor the question, and the instructor can answer it then and there. But then we have self-paced videos for the people who would like to learn on their own time as well. So we provide 32 hours of that. And the most important part, apart from the self-paced and the instructor-led session, is that we give you 64 hours of project work, almost twice of it. And in fact, 64 hours of exercise and project work is in fact required. And this at Intellipath is something what we do. We always champion this, that you need the required project skills, you need the required exposure, and this at the end of the day is where you get your knowledge from when you implement something that you've learned. And of course, industry recognized certification, job assistance throughout, and flexible scheduling are among things that we provide as well. The most important thing here is that you have lifetime access to this program. You have lifetime free upgrades. So if you choose to come back to this program in the next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or whatever the duration it might be, by the time you come back, you will have the latest iteration on which you'll be basically learning on. So this ensures that you can always stay up to date with the latest technologies. And we promise 24/7 lifetime support and lifetime access, as I just mentioned as well. So there are multiple things about the program that you can understand, and we have put up a detailed questionnaire section where you can understand, what will you learn in this course, who should pick it up, what are the prerequisites to pick it up. As you can see, everyone can actually take up this machine learning course regardless of any prior experience, regardless of any prior knowledge that might have as well. So coming to the course content, again, the curriculum is amazing in my opinion, because you'll begin by understanding an introduction to machine learning, and you'll be moving to supervised learning, linear regression, and much more. So every module that you can see will have some sort of hands-on exercises, and you can in fact see the hands-on exercises on your screen as well. The concepts that you will be learning in that module, followed by the hands-on exercises with respect to that module. And after that, classification and logistic regression, decision trees, random forests, naive biases, SVMs. SVM is basically support vector machines, unsupervised learning, introduction to deep learning, and in fact even TSA. TSA is basically time series analysis, and this again involves a lot of things that you can learn. So ladies and gentlemen, from the start to the end, this program is put together to ensure you can have proficiency in the field of machine learning. And we have projects and case studies. As I mentioned, you'll have case studies basically, and all the topics needed as a description to that particular case study. We can understand what's going on as well. So these are industry level projects, and of course you can use all of this to see and gauge your self-learning throughout. And after the completion of all the projects, and after clearing the minimum criteria required, you will be awarded with a certificate which looks just like this. There are over 100 top multinational companies which are partnered. People like Cisco, Ericsson, Cognizant, Sony, New Sigma, Saint-Gobain, Standard Chartered, IBM, Infosys, Genpact, Hexaware. There are many other companies who are willing to pick up students who are certified from Intellipath, because they know the quality of content that's being provided here. And of course, we do provide sample videos as well. So make sure you click this link to actually check out the sample video before picking up the course, in case if you guys require. And if you guys keep scrolling down, you'll actually get to read all of the training reviews and all of the reviews that our dear learners leave us as well. So make sure to check it out. And we have a comprehensively put together FAQ, frequently asked questions section, such as what are the different modes of training, when can you request a support session, can you explain the benefits of it, job assistance, or all the other questions which are basically provided here in this last section. But ladies and gentlemen, we understand you might have more questions than that as well. So To do that, well, just before that, in fact, let me actually give you this flat 30% off coupon. Guys, make sure to use the coupon code YouTube30, YOUTUBE, and 30, all of it in caps and 30 in numeric, to get a flat 30% off on all of the courses. So this can be your way into basically helping the world fight COVID-19 at this point of time. And in fact, if not that, you guys can use it in your time right now to actually launch your careers into success in the upcoming days as well. So as I said, you might have more questions than whatever is being given in the FAQ section. And of course, if that is the case, the numbers are given on your screen. Our course advisors are here for you 24 hours a day, 7 days of the week, and pretty much 365 days of the year. So give us a ring on the Indian number or the US number, whichever is appropriate for you. It's given on the screen. And if you're not much of a phone person, you can of course write us an email, sales@intellipaat.com, and our course advisors will be more than happy to help you out regarding what course you need to pick or what technology is right for you, and much more. But if you have any recommendations, anything that you want to say, or if you have requests for videos or any suggestions in general, guys, head to the comment section now and do let us know, and we'll take note of it. And of course, you have reached the end of the session now. Again, ladies and gentlemen, before we end the session here at Intellipath, we ask all the citizens of all the countries to take a responsible step in helping prevent the outbreak of this COVID-19 virus. So let us all stay safe, and we're hoping for the best for the coming days. Stay safe, guys. See you on the next one.